Hey, what's up, people? I've been on here in a long time. So, today is 8/2/2023. About an hour ago, I just found out that I got to go to trial for my freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression. And in a place called Sibling County, Minnesota. But I'm going to have it transferred. I'm going pro per as soon as we get a court date. And I'm also going to have the trial transferred because they're very racist in that courthouse. With all of the complaints I filed against that court and against the judges, this is behind retaliation and hate against me. Straight up. I filed a complaint against my divorce judge, and she allowed perjury in her court, false evidence in her court, and she knew this because I've been telling her that, but she knew it. She allowed my ex at that time to be text messaging someone, and she knew this. So I asked the courts to remove her. I filed a complaint in 2001 to have her removed. So in November, they removed her from my divorce, and they put this other judge, which, mind you, not once did I ever appear in front of him. Nothing. I filed a motion and an affidavit, which their motion has to be denied, is not valid whatsoever, is void, because the courts did not give me the opportunity whatsoever to be in court again when I filed my motion and affidavit. So January 3rd, 2023, I had an appointment at the courthouse with this judge, and couldn't do it because it was a snowstorm out there in Minnesota. Real bad snowstorm on January 3rd, 2023. So the clerk's office calls me and says that he don't want to cancel the court date. Now, this judge didn't even want to do it because he was from another county. All right? This judge was from another county. So he didn't want to do it anyway. He didn't want to clean up another judge's mess. So wouldn't give me a new court date. But every other courts were closed down on January 3rd, 2023 from the snowstorm out in Minnesota. Bad snowstorm. Very, very bad. Terry Watkins court case canceled. This other lady attorney I know, I spoke with her. The state cannot be a victim. It says it in the Constitution. The state cannot be a victim. There has to be a body of evidence. There has to be habeas corpus. The state cannot be a victim. The state cannot be a victim. The state is a corporation. Point blank. So now I got to fight this bullshit. This case. And I'm going pro per. That's all I can do. Pro per. I'm going pro per. It's so ironic how, because of the color of your skin, you get no justice in Minnesota. I'm disabled. And everybody in that courthouse that I went to could not once show proof of, proof of office, oath of office. One person could show oath of office whatsoever. And So somebody asked me, hold on for a minute. Somebody asked me the same thing the other day when we was looking at what they charged me with, and I couldn't believe it. So these people want to go ahead and deal with now the violation of my constitutional rights. And that's what this case is about. There was no threat, no nothing, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And even under common law, which all the laws come from the common law, it says Congress shall make no laws on the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of expression. No laws. Congress shall make no laws, And it's funny how this is what it says here of the duty under common law. And then this is the first thing I'm going to ask the jury members. The question is going to be what they have to ask themselves. What kind of case is this? Every video that I put out there will be played in court. I got that constitutional right. I have that right. Every video I put out there, I have that right. I have that right. There was no probable cause to issue a warrant for my arrest whatsoever because of my speech. None whatsoever. I got the right to say I'm going to sue you under 1983 under color law. I got that right. I got that right to sue you for violation of my rights. I have that right to sue you for your corruption, your perjury, your false evidence, when you knew the evidence that was presented to your court was false. I got that constitutional right. I have that constitutional right. And I got the right to let you know that, you see. But what's so funny is that a prosecutor cannot bring a case upon a person. They got to take it to the grand jury. It says it in the constitutional rights. It is the duty of a grand jury. It is the duty of the common law in the grand jury to explore all fraud and corruption within the penalty, within the system. All right? It's the Bill of Rights for violation of your constitutional rights. But it says here, though, also, it says here that before you can bring a case, the case has to go in front of a grand jury. A felony has to go in front of a grand jury. No ifs and no buts. A felony has to be in front of a grand jury. Their state constitution is unconstitutional. The federal constitution overrides theirs. No ifs and no buts. You can't show probable cause whatsoever. And that's what they got to show me. Prove to me you have probable cause. You got to break this down to me because I don't understand. You got to break this down to me. I don't understand. How do you have probable cause? Where is the probable cause? This is what this court got to do. They got to show me probable cause. They have probable cause to issue a bogus warrant for a violation of my constitutional rights, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. That's what they got to do. That's what they got to do. That's what they have to do. But this is all behind hate and retaliation. That's all this is behind, hate and retaliation, man. And I hate Minnesota, man. Minnesota sucks, dude. Too much racist motherfuckers out here in Minnesota, man. These motherfuckers. And then I got the right because I'm not going to get a fair trial. I got the right under federal and state laws to have it moved. I have that constitutional right because I will not get a fair trial. I did not get a fair trial in that courthouse, which I couldn't get a trial for my divorce that I asked for, a trial by jury, trial in my divorce. I was denied that. All right. Every subpoena, I was denied. Everything I handed to the courts, I had to wait until the clerk takes it to the judge for them to file it for me. So I filed a motion. You're in violation of this law right here. Once I present my paperwork to you, it has to be filed right then and there. Time, date, and stamp right there. Not when you decide to do that. You know. Then I asked for an oath of office from them. They didn't have it. You know. And it's amazing how these people can get away with this in this little hinky town. This got to go straight to the high courts, man. This got to go out of their jurisdiction because I will not get a fair trial. There's no way in God's green earth I'll get a fair trial because all of them are white people. They racist. That's the Klansman right there. That's the Klansman right there. That courthouse should be shut down. It should be a damn parking lot. You know, that's what it should be, a parking lot. You know, they're very racist over there. They're very racist. They're very racist. They're very racist. So I already filed my lawsuit, 1983, under color of law, deprive me of my rights, and et cetera, et cetera. That was already filed in federal court. And they'll be served and everything else. All of that was filed and everything was sent out. You know, they sending me copies. They sending me 21 copies because one got to go to the state attorney's office, state of Minnesota, because the state of Minnesota cannot be a victim. The state of Minnesota is a corporation. All right. Secretary of State of Minnesota goes to Secretary of State and the Treasury Department because I put in a torque on their bond. You know, and that's the bottom line. You know, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I told myself before, man, you know what? God bear me witness. Allah bear me witness, man. You put me in prison for something I didn't do, and you violate my constitutional rights, you just created a monster. You did that to yourself, man. You know? And it's funny how these people, because of the color of your skin, you committed a threat because you said you're suing them. Because of the color of your skin, you committed a threat because you said, I'm coming after you what the law and my constitutional right says I got the right to do. There's no probable cause in that whatsoever. There's no probable cause in that whatsoever. But to a white person, they say it's probable cause. Show the probable cause. They got to show me the probable cause. There was no fucking threat. I got a right to tell them I'm going to sue them. Matter of fact, it was even in my motion I filed that you violated my constitutional rights, and now I'll be filing in 1983 under the color of law lawsuit. It was in my motion that I filed in my divorce case. Deprive me of my rights under the color of law. Now you deprive me of my freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression because of the color of my skin. This shit got to stop, man. This shit got to stop. This has to stop, you know, and it's not because they think that they could get away with it, you know. They think that they can get away with it. In the Bill of Rights, our forefathers, the power of the grand jury is the Bill of Rights to make it clear that it belongs to the people and the government is not to violate it. It is the service of the government. It is also provided government from unreasonable procedures, unreasonable prosecution. The Bill of Rights, unreasonable charges, which is false charges. Okay, and it says here, before you can seek You gotta seek permission from the people before a criminal charge can be filed. People assume that it's the prosecutor that has the authority to file charges on the person. No. Everything got to go to the grand jury. It's in the Constitutional Rights, Bill of Rights. Everything got to go to the grand jury. The grand jury is the one that decides to indict or not on all federal cases and felonies. Okay? It's up to the grand jury. All right? There are only 3 ways that a court can hear a criminal complaint. 1 or more of the people sign a sworn affidavit that has been injured. Right there. On the common law and the constitutional rights. Right there. Right here. Right here. Right here. It states here, there are only 3 ways a court can hear a criminal complaint. 1 or more of the people signing a sworn affidavit that they have been injured. Nobody's been injured. I didn't commit no bodily harm. I didn't commit nothing whatsoever. It's in my motion that I'm suing you for violation of my constitutional rights under the color law 1983. You deprived me of rights, liberty, and freedom. You deprived me of that. Okay, that was in my motion. All right. Police threatened you every day. Deputies threaten you every day. Judges threaten you every day. So what is the difference? There isn't none. So they could threaten me, but I can't threaten them? No, it doesn't go like that. Because the law says all men are created equal. So here you go. Okay. A sworn affidavit that has been injured person. 2, a prosecutor or behalf of the government brings an action before the grand jury. The grand jury either indicts or does nothing. The grand jury, by its own will, can investigate the matter or suspend it. Okay? That law is being violated, or even because it was assumed that it is not. And if it finds wrongdoing, then it can be proceeded. Okay? It is not up to the courts. It's not up to the prosecutor. It's up to the grand jury on felonies and federal cases. Felonies and federal cases. It's right there in the Constitution, right? Right there. The prosecutor cannot bring a case. It has to be a victim. It has to be a victim. The state is not a victim. The state is a corporation. I did not commit no crime against the state of Minnesota whatsoever. The state cannot, it's in the constitutional right. The state cannot, a lot of people assume that the state is a victim. No, it is not. A victim has to be a habeas corpus. That's what it says in the Constitution. A state cannot be a victim. The state cannot be a victim. No ifs and no buts. A state cannot be a victim. It's in the Constitutional Rights, Bill of Rights. You know, and it has to be, this has to be brought in front of a grand jury. Grand jury would have told this man, are you stupid? Are you that stupid? You're gonna violate this man's constitutional rights for freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and what he said? What are you doing? So then he throws in there 2 other charges of a thing called disorderly conduct. Now, where does the disorderly conduct come from? Because of what I said on my web pages, what I said on YouTube. You know what's so funny? YouTube even stated I didn't violate no rules or regulations, because if I would have threatened anybody, they would have took them down immediately. They would have took them down immediately. So this judge now just violated my constitutional rights, freedom of speech and freedom of the press. He didn't give a damn about nothing. So he ruled against, which I still feel is a lousy motion that this public defender did, because there's all kinds of cases out there. Even the 2023 case, you cannot violate someone's constitutional rights to freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and what they say and put on the internet. United States Superior Court already ruled that. I didn't threaten nobody, so there was no probable cause for him to deny my motion for dismissal. Now I'm coming after that judge with a lawsuit and a complaint because he violated the constitutional rights. He violated my constitutional right. There was no evidence whatsoever of probable cause to violate someone's constitutional rights, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So I'm doing a motion. You know, I told the attorney last month, I said, dude, I'm about to get ready for trial on this here, you know, and I said, I already know that this is going to go to trial. They're going to deny your motion you filed. I already know this. One, because of the nationality of my skin. That's the main reason. That's the main reason. Two, because there's so much hate in that courtroom and discrimination in that courtroom. So much discrimination in that courtroom and hate. You got, there was a black guy that was before me in his divorce. And his attorney was white. She was a lady. And he was going through hell. He was going through hell. So it goes by your race, your looks, and if you got money. Point blank. That's the bottom line. So now I got to put this judge into a lawsuit, you know, and deal with that, you know, because the lawsuits will be heard, you know, because you violated my constitutional rights, false arrest, false imprisonment, kidnap, the works, you know, the works. Deprive me of my right of freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. You know, you violated my constitutional rights, you know, and you deprived me of that under color of law, 1983. You know, there was no probable cause for them to sit back. See, I'll say it again, I'll say it again. I'll say it again, I'll say it again. That's the racist Ku Klux Klan courtroom in the state of Minnesota. I'm not going to get a fair trial. One thing the Constitution right says, I have the right to a fair trial. And I'm moving that out of there. Straight up out of that county. I got that constitutional right. I have that right. And I looked that cases up too, to be prepared. I got a right to have it transferred all the way to St. Paul, Minnesota. I got that constitutional right. And it says, juries are my peers. Juries are my peers. I want no white person on my jury member. No white person on my jury member. They say threat. Because I said, y'all seen the video. It's all over there. There's no threats. No threats whatsoever. Did my ex-wife's attorney commit perjury? Yes. On record. Did my ex-wife commit perjury? Yes. On record. On record. You know, when that judge asked her a question and she goes, oh, no, not right now, Your Honor. She was supposed to be charged with perjury and her attorney. That's okay, though. You know, I'm ready to die anyway, man. I'm not going to lie about it. I hate this world, man. I hate the racism, discrimination. I hate it, man. I hate this fucking world, man. And I hate Minnesota. So let me see. You violate my constitutional rights on false charges of hate. I mean, of a threat that was never done to nobody. The state cannot be a victim. The habeas corpus has to be a body to be a victim. So I'm not going to stand by and let this shit happen to me no more, man. I'm not. I'm not going to. I don't understand these charges, dude. I don't understand nothing. I don't understand nothing. I don't understand it. at all. I don't understand it. So if I get found guilty, what I'm gonna do? Well, I got the right to take the law into my own hands then. I have that constitutional right. And that's the bottom line, you know? That's the bottom line, you know? That's the bottom line. I already lost everything, so I don't give a fuck about losing nothing else, man. I really don't. I really don't give a fuck about losing nothing else, man. You lied on me. You attacked me because of the color of my skin. You let perjury in your courthouse. You know, man, I hate Minnesota, man. Allah bear me witness. I hate Minnesota. These are some racist fucking people in Minnesota, man. Racist motherfuckers. So I told the attorney, I said, dude, I'm going pro per. That's the bottom line, you know? I didn't ask for no fucking public defender. You don't got nothing with my signature on it that says public defender. I'm going pro per, you know? That's the bottom line, man. You know? That's it. I'm going to continue fighting for my freedom. My father fought for freedom. His father's fathers fought for freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, etc., etc. You know? No. And you know how much hate? There's so much hate this motherfuckers have for me. Hate and retaliation. And the retaliation shows it in the court files. Malillo. Divorce papers. Sibling, Gaylord Courthouse. Gaylord Courthouse. Gaylord Courthouse in Minnesota. The complaint was filed because the judge denied me everything, motions and subpoenas. I had to file a complaint just to get a subpoena. You know, I had to file a complaint just to get a subpoena. Just to get a subpoena. And the subpoena was going to her job for her earnings. And I asked the courts to have it sent to the courts. Yeah. Yeah. And then they saw just what I saw. When she lied about the 401k and everything else. It was funny, man. Yeah, it was funny. Malillo. Melillo versus Malillo. I didn't even know my wife was from Minnesota until she got sick. Yeah. Yep. So, just found out. So I'm not wasting no time or nothing. You know, they already violated my constitutional rights, man. So, you know, I gotta deal with this now and everything else. And that's what I gotta do. You know. And all my videos will be playing in the courthouse. So it'll be about 4 or 5 months. Because first I'm gonna be doing my motion today to have it removed out of that court procedure there. Because I will not get a fair trial because I didn't get a fair trial in my divorce. I didn't get a fair trial when I filed my motion and my affidavit to be in court, which I found a case law about that, where Superior Court ruled that you got to give the other party the opportunity to be heard, you know, or the ruling that you made is void, you know, is void, you know. And yeah, you go after all of these judges and police officers, you put a talk on their bond, you know, and they're not going to give you copies of their bond. So you go through hell, but just when you file your lawsuit, you send it to the Secretary of the State of that state, and you send it to the Treasury Department of that state, you know. and you take it down, and you have you don't just have it in the courthouse. Nah, go to the county clerk's office, and you have it filed just like you file your taxes. You have that filed, the lawsuit filed there, and everything. File a lawsuit. Once everything is docked, these people getting sued. It's filed with the state and everything else. You know. Yeah. No probable cause whatsoever to put a warrant for my arrest. None whatsoever. Wasn't a dangerous man. And they violated that too. Before you could put a warrant out for someone's arrest, number one, you got to send them a summary. It says it in the laws. You got to send them a summary. If I didn't appear, then you put out a warrant for my arrest. You know, you're supposed to send them a summary of the charges and who was the victim. The state of Minnesota cannot be the victim. The state of Minnesota cannot be the victim. The state of Minnesota cannot be a victim. The state of Minnesota is a corporation. The United States moved away from King Henry back in, what? I think it was 1918. Moved away from King Henry's rules and orders. So the state cannot be a victim. The state is a corporation. And now I really don't understand how you're going to violate my constitutional rights, freedom of speech. I really don't understand this. And I don't proceed. I don't agree with these procedures, man, whatsoever. You know, I do not. So it's a fight. It's a fight coming in court, you know, of my rights and everything else. You know, it's a fight coming in court. You know, that's what it is. So they did a ruling. United States Superior Court ruled that his own constitution to anyone they Second Amendment to bear arms. They just ruled on that. With this guy, he had a felony, and they locked him up because he had a gun. And now that's hitting all states. People with domestic violence and all of that, you know, where they got a right to bear arms under the Second Amendment. You know, no state can choose who's allowed to bear arms and all of that stuff. No state is allowed to do that no more. You know, and that came down January, February, March 2023. The ruling came down from the United States Superior Court. It said you cannot deny nobody to bear arms whatsoever. You cannot do that, you know. And that's the funny part. Hold on for a minute. And they also ruled, United States Superior Court also ruled about freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression. And they stated that no court can interfere with freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression. No court can interfere with that. And there's no such thing of hate speech. You know, United States Superior Court already ruled that. You know, United States courts already ruled that. And this is where I don't understand how you got probable cause for free speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression. Where's the probable cause at? You got to explain to me, because I don't understand this. You got to explain to me. You got to explain to me. I'm not going to let these people violate my constitutional rights no more, man. You know what it also says? You cannot be tried twice for the same crime. This is what they tried to do to me in February when they filed those bogus charges on me. They tried to violate my freedom of speech, freedom of the press. You know, you cannot be tried for the same crime twice. And they tried me twice for the same crime. In the United States, can you be charged twice for the same crime of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression?
Cornell.
Double jeopardy. The clause in the First Amendment to the United States Constitution prohibits anyone from being prosecuted twice for the similar or the same crime. They tried this shit in February 2020. They tried this shit in February. You know, no person shall be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life, limb, or liberty. They tried the same shit under double jeopardy clause. A person cannot be prosecuted for the same crime after being found not guilty in a similar legal jurisdiction, or be prosecuted for the same crime again after being convicted in a single legal jurisdiction, or be punished for the same crime more than once in a single legal jurisdiction. Now, this is going to take a long time because I'm going to file all my paperwork today, take it down to the courthouse. This judge got to prove to me that he got jurisdiction. There was no probable cause. This is behind racism, discrimination. That was the probable cause, discrimination. You know, as a matter of fact, you know what's so funny? I did a video when I apologized. You know, if I hurt your feelings, I did that video. If I hurt your feelings, now I'm looking up my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And it says they don't care about your feelings. Your feelings have nothing to do with the constitutional rights. Has nothing to do with the constitutional rights. Your feelings got nothing to do with the constitutional rights. If someone hurt your feelings, they hurt your feelings. So damn what? But all of this comes after one person. I tried to file a lawsuit, and because I'm tired of this individual, ex-friend of ours, and all she kept doing is calling the police, calling the police, calling the police, calling the police. She went from so many different counties. Now, if this ain't a conspiracy, I don't know what is. Okay? You know, and it's sickening, man. It's really sickening. You know? What does the federal law says about violation of freedom of speech? Can you be charged?
According to law, Cornell University, the First Amendment protects this right by prohibiting Congress from making laws that would curtail freedom of speech. Even though freedom of speech is protected from infringement by the government is still free to restrict speech in certain circumstances.
I didn't violate my freedom of speech, freedom of the press. I didn't threaten nobody. I didn't threaten nobody to commit bodily harm. I said you violated my constitutional rights. It's on the video. It was made in January. It's made in January. It's on video. See, what's so funny is that these people saying I didn't violate no laws. I didn't violate no laws. And these people are white in law enforcement. They saying I didn't violate no laws. Leave the man alone. He didn't violate no law. He could say what he want to say. He didn't threaten nobody or nothing. and contact these small town sheriffs, which is out of their jurisdiction. Oh, he a nigga. We're going to get him. He a nigga. We're going to get him. He black. We're going to get him. Yeah, we're going to get him. Don't worry. We'll take care of this. We'll take care of this. I know the DA. We'll take care of this. We'll take care of this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Again, arrested on the false charges, false imprisonment, and kidnap. Knowing damn well that these motherfuckers shoot anything black, plant guns, plant evidence. Oh, I'm gonna play all my videos. See, they so dirty. Let me tell you how dirty these white motherfuckers are out there in the courthouse. All right? These white motherfuckers are so dirty, man. Where they taking videos from what I said years ago and they putting it in a police report. You see? And that's how you get them on perjury. Because I want the motherfucker on the I don't want nobody on video or nothing. Your ass got to be in there because I got a right to cross-examine you. That's my Sixth Amendment right. I got a right to cross-examine my accusers. I have that right. You can't cross-examine the state because the state cannot be a victim. The state cannot be a victim. Under no circumstances. The state cannot be a victim. Under no circumstances. Habeas corpus. A victim has to be an injured party. The state of Minnesota is a corporation. The state cannot be a victim. The state cannot be a victim. It says it in the Constitutional Rights, in the Bill of Rights. People think that the state is a victim. No. The state is a corporation. The state cannot be a victim whatsoever. Under no circumstances. No state can be a victim. A victim has to be an injured party. The state is not an injured party. The state of Minnesota is a corporation. State of New York is a corporation. State of Nevada is a corporation. State of California is a corporation. The state cannot be a victim. A victim has to be a habeas corpus, a body. That's what the law says. That's what the constitutional right says. Fuck what any city or state constitutional says don't mean nothing. What overrides them is the federal common law, is the law of the land. Common law is the law of the land. Common law is the law of the land. No ifs and no buts. Common law is the law of the land. The state cannot be a victim whatsoever. So now I'm gonna sue them. You know, you're not gonna violate my constitutional rights, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And the best thing about it is I got every right to have all my videos played in court and everything else in federal court. You know, that's my right. You already violated my rights where it says that I got the right to sue. I got a right to bring a suit against the government. You already violated that. You already violated me to have a restraining order against this individual because this person keeps harassing me. Why? Because of the color of my skin and because I'm a man. That's discrimination. That's hate. It's a violation of the color of the law. (1983) 1983 lawsuit. What is 1983 lawsuit? Deprive of rights. Deprive a person, an individual, the rights to sue the state, government, employees, and other actions on the color of law for civil rights violation. It is a means to enforce civil rights that already existed and that are being violated under the color of law. That's what it says right there. You know, oh, wow. So they just had a ruling on a tribal nation that they filed back in 2004, and they just had a ruling that that the Native American has a right to file a lawsuit against the state because the state is not a victim. The state is a corporation, and they got the right to proceed with their lawsuit in federal court under 1983, the right to sue the government, the state and government employees. Oh, this is a heavy one here. For violation rights in the state on behalf of themselves and their members to their tribe. See, they try to play that game. Well, you can't sue the state. No, you can sue the state because the United States Superior Court already ruled the state is a corporation. So if they turn around and they say, the state is charging you this, they can't do that. People think that they can, but they can't. It's in the Constitution. The state is not a victim. The state cannot be a victim under no circumstances. The state is a corporation. All states are corporations. You can sue a corporation. So, well, now I got to get ready for trial. And I told, check this out. I told this attorney, and I'm gonna show y'all when I did this. He said he sent me something, but I didn't get nothing. No, I didn't get nothing. Okay. I said here, okay, it says here, where did I first do it? Okay. Okay. So I did this in last month. I said to him, I said, Mr. Dillon, I'm here at home in California. I already know that we're going to be going to trial. Okay. I will be representing myself. I will be going pro per. All right. And this was in July 19th. July 19th, 2023. And I sent this out to him 4:46 p.m. California time. It says here, okay, today is Wednesday, July 19th. Mr. Dillon, today is July 19th, 2023. Time is 4:46 p.m. California time. Okay, I already know that I'll be going to trial, but I will not let them violate my constitutional rights of freedom of speech, freedom of the press. I will be going pro per. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. So I will be representing myself, and I will not be giving up no time whatsoever. They had plenty of time with this false arrest and false kidnap, false charges that they put on me. So I will not be giving up no more time whatsoever. Okay? Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of expression has already been ruled, and they cannot deny me that because then it's in violation of my federal rights. my constitutional rights. There's no ifs and no buts. And then I stated that as I was reading the report, I noticed that everything they said is coming from other videos that I made. And I was reading a case, and then I don't understand. How can they put in there, oh, he accused a deputy of stealing his $200. The motherfucker did steal my $200. 5/7/2020, 8:45 p.m. He took my wallet out, took my $200 out, and put it in his pocket. Which I don't understand how that got any significance to a threat. See, they got to explain to me probable cause. Probable cause means there has to be a thing there for probable cause. I didn't threaten nobody. I got the right. In my motion, I filed with the courts to have this judge removed. You violated my constitutional rights. I will be filing a 1983 under color of law. That's in my motion. I even got a copy of that motion that was filed last year. Last year was filed. Last year. Man, let me tell you something, man. I already see I'm gonna become a murderess, man. That's what I'm gonna become, a murderer. I want to be just like Jack the Ripper or some shit, because that's how much hate these people got for me, and they turn around, they put the hate in you and everything. That's why you can't, when I couldn't be on trial, I couldn't be in a jury member because somebody killed all of these people. There was a reason for it. And nobody asked that question. What was the reason? Why did he kill all of those people? There's got to be a motive to why he killed all of those people. What did they do to him? You see, and that's what it all boils down to. People getting tired of going to jail for something when they got a constitutional right to say and do. People getting tired of the system. People getting tired of the slave shit. And I'm telling you, man, Allah bear me witness. Allah bear me witness. I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of these motherfuckers coming after me because of my race. Telling me that I don't got a right to say what the fuck I want to say. I got every fucking right to say what I want to say. The United States Superior Court already ruled. You got the right to curse a judge out. You got the right to curse a pig out, a cop, a judge, a DA, whatever. That's your constitutional rights. That's your constitutional right. You can post whatever you want to post on the internet, except anything about kids. That's your constitution. You can't put what do they call it? Naked pictures of kids on the internet. So YouTube said I didn't violate no constitution. I didn't violate their policy. Didn't threaten nobody. Homeland Security didn't threaten nobody. FBI, he didn't threaten nobody. He mad. He got a right to be mad. Look what y'all did to this man. All because of the color of his skin. And I got the receipt 5/7/2020 when I took out my $200 out of the bank of Wells Fargo. Got that receipt. Going straight on. Because that's the day I threw my ex-wife out. Get the fuck out the house. Cheat your ass out of here. Get out of here. I don't need you in my life no more. Get the fuck out. Man. I'll be finished up with the rest of this paperwork today. What is today? I think today's Wednesday. Yeah, today is Wednesday. So I'm going to do my motion to have it removed out of that courthouse, because that court, I will not get a fair trial in that court, because I didn't get a fair trial. I didn't get a fair hearing in my divorce whatsoever. And I'm also be filing a motion, of dismissal, because I got that right, because this attorney, look, let me explain something to you. Public defenders are not there for you. So they get paid for the state, by the state. Their loyalty is to the state. All right. So I'll be filing a motion to remove him immediately. And I'll be going pro per. And I'll be filing all necessary motions, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm out on bail for OR. So there's no need to violate that right there. There's no need for you to pull the OR, because if you pull the OR on me, then that right there is retaliation, which this case is retaliation. Okay? This case is straight retaliation. There was no probable cause, for them to do what they did. None whatsoever. And all this was retaliation, because I told them I'm coming after you with a 1983 violation of my constitutional rights under color of law. You violate that rights right there. And that was also written in my motion that I filed, a motion and affidavit that I filed to have that judge removed from my divorce hearings. And then I already filed a lawsuit against that attorney's firm for perjury and stuff. I already filed a complaint with the so-called state bar, where they get their license from, which is so funny, is because I don't understand these procedures. I really don't understand these procedures. I really don't. And this is what I got to go. And these charges, I don't understand, man. I don't understand these charges of these procedures whatsoever. And that's the bad thing about it. I do not understand these charges and these procedures at all. And I already did my motion and stuff to that's already down.
I just don't know how to sue the police and have never been shown, so I'm going to help you out. 18 U.S. Code 242. Whoever under any color of law, which is statutes, ordinances, and regulations, causes me deprivation of rights, let me show you the penalty. If it's because of race, 1 year. If they touch me at all, 10 years in prison. If they attempt to kidnap me, which is taking me to jail without a warrant, that's life in prison, and I will get them for it. Every public official has a bond that ensures that they follow federal regulations and indemnifies those who were injured as a result of the officer's negligence. If you put in a claim against their bond, which for county employees you get from the Secretary of State and for city employees you can get from the Risk Management Department, and you file a claim against their bond, not only will you use up all the insurance money, they will never work as a police officer or a judge or whoever bond you're going after again. They'll never show you that on TV, but that's the proper way to sue the police. They ain't gonna assault you and get away with it.
That's what I'm going after the prosecutor for, and everything else, man. And I have that right. I have that constitutional right, because you file a bogus charge on me for freedom of speech, freedom of the press, behind retaliation and hate. And that's what you did, and I'm fed up with it, man. I'm totally fed up with it. You cannot get a fair trial. I will not get a fair trial in Gaylord's courthouse. I will not get a fair trial. That will not happen. And I didn't get a fair trial during my divorce. Well, I didn't even go to trial. It was a hearing. I put on my paperwork trial. I want a jury trial, and the judge denied me that. The judge denied me that. It was just a judge trial. I didn't want no judge trial. No, I don't want no judge trial. I didn't want no judge trial. And you see, this is what I'm about to do. This is what I did already.
If you're going to court and you don't know what to say, here you go. Stick to the script. Don't say nothing else. Just stick to the script. If you're going to court and you don't
see, I already wrote it down. I do not consider to those procedures. Your offer is not accountable. You know, I do not consider being surely for this case and those proceedings. You know, I demand that bond be immediately brought forward, and I can see who violated my constitutional rights, and I got a right for the damages in the lawsuit. You know, and which I have that right. You know, it's amazing how these people could just get away with all of this shit out here in Minnesota, man. God, I hate Minnesota with passion, man. You know, my neighbor is pretty cool though. They pretty cool. My neighbor over there is pretty cool. I see them once in a while. They pretty cool. I never had no problems there where I go, hey, white, they pretty cool. But they're in that courthouse, man. There was no probable cause. Where's the see? They got to show me where was the probable cause. They just can't say. They got to show me the law. Where was the probable cause? What did you see for you to say that there was probable cause? You already looked at my background. We already know that. So you're saying because of my background, it's probable cause? Then you have probable cause to lock my ex-wife up when she never told me she had AIDS. She tried to infect me. That was probable cause. That was also state law. But y'all didn't because she's a woman, I'm a man, and like the guy said, because you're black, you're a nigga. Wow. Oh yeah, because you're a nigga and you're disabled, you don't got no rights. Wow. So I'm going for trial, man. I'm going for trial. Deal with this in trial. See what happens. Hold on. Yep, that's what I gotta do. I gotta deal with this in trial. Which taxpayers money? Well, you see, they don't give a fuck about wasting taxpayers' money because they're not paying for nothing. The courts is not paying for nothing. You know, they don't give a damn about wasting taxpayers' money. You know, they don't give a damn. They file charges on you just to file charges on you because of your race. Is this retaliation? Yes. All in the court papers. Is this hate? Yes. Violation of constitutional rights? Yes. 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 So I'm not waiting no time for no jury trial. I'm going to be doing my motion now and file some case laws on it. And I got a right to have this sent to a place called St. Paul, Minnesota courthouse, because I will not get a fair trial here. There's hardly any African Americans that live. This is all white town, all white town, you know. And there's no African Americans, and I got a right to jury of my peers, which my constitutional right says. I got a right to question my so-called victims, my accuser. And since he's the state, which is hard to believe and understand, because I don't understand that whatsoever, because the state cannot be a victim. A victim has to be a body injured person. The state is not an injured person. The state is an object. The state's a corporation, you know. So, yeah, I just got finished filing everything in federal court, and I took everything, I filed everything in California, federal courts. And the guy goes, Mr. Malillo, this got to go to Minnesota. I said, as long as I know I got it filed here in federal court in California, then I could send everything out there to their courthouse and have it filed and served. He says, yeah, that's true, because you got it logged and you did the right thing, man. You turned around and you went to the county clerks. You had it logged in. They put the numbers on it and stuff. And yeah, this is a record. Now, this can't disappear. Now they got to proceed. You got it logged in with the county court, just the way you do your taxes. You got it notarized. You all to go, man. You ready to go. Now, we got it logged into our county court clerk's office and everything. And it's on the records and it's in our system. And we'll be watching this here, man. We'll be watching this here. We'll be watching this here. We will be watching this here. So I'm waiting now. They got to send me 10 copies, which they sent me 10 copies, what I filed in California on the federal laws, federal courthouse there. And the judge out there, oh, yeah, you can go through this, man, because you can sue other states. That's your constitutional right. You can sue a state. You could sue somebody in another state, And my lawsuits are filed against each individual. And also I put in there, for the Secretary of State and the Claims Department of the state of Minnesota, against the attorney and judge. I'm holding a talk against their bond. Violation of such and such and such. Here's the evidence and everything. And this is the case number of the motion I filed to have this judge removed. It's in the motion where I stated that they violated my constitutional rights. So I will be doing under 1983 under the color law, deprive me of my rights and stuff. Copy of the motion. The motion should be denied, should be void, because they didn't give me the opportunity to even hear, to be presented of my motion that I filed or my affidavit, which the affidavit is still sitting out there. That's the funny thing. The affidavit is still sitting. And an affidavit is like a sworn testimony, a sworn statement. The affidavit was notarized and everything else, And that judge, see, this is how you get, because it's true though. It's really true how you get these judges when they don't give you the opportunity to present your case, and this law comes from the state, This law comes from the state, but that's what I filed in my lawsuit also. Because their motion, and the funny, he's the only attorney that that typed everything on both sides of the motion. I didn't their response to have my motion dismissed, and the judge with so much hate against me, in retaliation, he grants a motion without me being heard in court. How is that legal? That's not even legal. Their motion is void. Their motion that they filed is void. And then he goes, there wasn't no snowstorm. Dude, all over the state of Minnesota was a snowstorm. Couldn't go to court on January 3rd. Everything was closed. And then the clerk calls me and says, well, the judge don't want to postpone nothing. The judge ain't got no choice. I got a right to be in court. I got a right to be heard. So they denied me that right there. And it's funny, man, how you get railroaded in Minnesota, man, in these little towns, Hicks towns, man. You know, let me see here.
Have you ever pulled over by a cop? They are.
I don't want that one. I got one I wanted you to hear, though. Because this is a funny thing, because this person, she says the same thing that I found in the law that I filed with the courts in my lawsuit, you know.
Another good one. If you have a court case and you're thinking about hiring an attorney, you need to know that in the attorney-client relationship, the attorney's first duty is to the court. You're also considered a ward of the court. Another good one. Do you have a court?
Man, I've been having problems with my chest, man. Every time I turn around, man, my fucking chest is... Oh, and check this out. I found out that they've been trying to get my medical records and stuff, and they have, and that's against the law. That's... You're not supposed to be... You have no right to be interfering with my medical condition. You have no right to even question my medical condition.
I got another good one for you. So you've been accused of a crime that you did not commit? Let's take care of that. In a court of law, the accused never has to prove anything. The burden of proof is on the accuser, never the accused. Oh, I got another good one for you. You're thinking about hiring an attorney to... Oh, I got another good one for you.
This is so I think I got to get a heart valve, whatever the hell you call it.
Corrupt cops, prosecutors, and judges are all part of the prison pipeline, which is a billion-dollar industry.
Yep, that's what I filed. That's what I filed, a billion dollar lawsuit. Yep.
You have a right to counsel. Counsel, not an attorney.
That's right.
You better know your...
Got a right to counsel, not an
Oh,
attorney.
I got another good one. So you have a court case that you want to manage on your own without hiring an attorney, but you... Lawyers learn procedures, not law. You, me, and any... The court system is a multi-billion-dollar...
We already know that. The court system is
Ooh,
corrupt.
I got another good one for you. So you're in court and the judge is not letting you speak? Let's take care of that. Under the law of judgments pursuant to the Supreme Court, and they fail to give you the opportunity to be heard, that order is void. Ooh, I got another good one for you. So you're in court and...
So that order that the judge did, his order is void. He denied me my hearing when I had a right. I'm the one that filed for the divorce. Denied me everything. Oh, hey, I'm having pain in my chest. I'll get back to y'all people in a minute.